Hey guys, welcome to Ask Truth Apologetics. We are going to continue with our saga on what Aisha's age was. I think I'm pretty convinced at this point, and I hope you guys are too, that she was 6 years old, exactly like she said in the authentic hadith when she got married to Muhammad, and that she was 9 years old when they consummated the marriage, exactly like she said herself. However, some Muslims are still objecting to this idea, and they are providing evidence for me. So let's go ahead and examine that evidence one step at a time. So my friend here, Hassan, he's providing more hadith, basically the same hadith that which I covered in our last video. If you want to review that, go ahead just to save time on today's video. I'm not going to cover that too much. So basically what those hadith are saying is that Aisha uh, was recalling hearing the information about when they were in Ethiopia, right? So Muhammad's wives, before Aisha was married to them, were recalling what had gone on in Ethiopia, as well as a couple of Muhammad's companions. She's relaying that information. She never says that she was there. And in fact, the hadith in the middle actually says that she was not there. So you guys can look into it yourselves. Just for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and scroll past that, make sure we're not getting any new information. Now, he's talking about the dialect of specific words and things like that. I have a professional Arabic translator friend. They were born in Jordan, so they speak Arabic fluently, they speak English fluently, and they actually told me that this is more clear in the Arabic that she was not there with them than it actually is even in the English translation. So I'm going to go ahead and trust them on that. Okay, so he goes on to say, I think this was the new piece of information here. Yeah, so he goes on to say that um, both Muslim sayings were passed by the same person in the chain, is named Hisham, Hisham, uh, whatever, al-Zubair. So both are actually one saying. What he's going on to say here is that they are contradicting one another. So he thinks that Hisham Zubair is contradicting his own statement. I don't think that Hisham is contradicting his statement, not in the chain of narration. Aisha says that she was 6 and 9. Aisha also says that she had heard stories about the past when the companions and the wives were in Ethiopia. She never says that she was in Ethiopia. In the Arabic, it is more well expressed that she was not in Ethiopia. So I don't actually think that Hisham is making any contradictory statements here. I know that it would be more comfortable if he was, so that you could reject the fact that your prophet married a 6-year-old and had sex with a 9-year-old. But that's just not the case, unfortunately. Okay, and I wish for your sake that it was. So here's the one where he started to show that in chapter 46, or sorry, chapter 54, verse 46, and we're going to go ahead and click on that here. All right, so this is where we're going to spend the majority of our time. This is new information that we have not yet looked into. Okay, so let's just go ahead and read this. So narrated Yusuf bin Manak. While I was with Aisha, the mother of the believers, a person from Iraq came and asked, what type of shroud is best? Aisha said, may Allah be merciful to you. What does it matter? He said, oh, mother of believers, show me the copy of your Quran. She said, why? He said, in order to compile and arrange the Quran in according to it for people to recite it with the surahs not in proper order. Aisha said, what does it matter which part of it you read first? Be informed that the first thing that was revealed thereof was surah from Al-Mufassal, and in it was mentioned paradise and the fire. When the people embraced Islam, the verses regarding legal and illegal things were revealed. If the first thing to be revealed was do not drink alcoholic drinks, people would have said, we will never leave alcoholic drinks. And if there had been revealed do not commit illegal sexual intercourse, they would have said, we will never give up illegal sexual intercourse. While I was a young girl of playing age, so this is the part that we're going to really focus on. So while Aiesha was a young girl of playing age, the following verse was revealed in Mecca to Muhammad. Okay, so what we're going to need to pay attention to is some timeline stuff. When was Aiesha married to the Prophet? When was Aiesha born? When was this surah revealed? And so we're going to look into that here in just a second, right? But the verse here is, nay, but the hour is their appointed time for their full recompense, and the hour will be more grievous and more bitter. So that's 54:46. That's Surah chapter 54, ayah 46. So that is Surat al-Baqarah. Okay, so we're just going to pay attention to that. So his argument here, let's go back to what his argument was. Okay, so his argument is that this surah was revealed at a time that Aiesha could remember, and therefore she must be older. Now, he thinks that this was in the 4th year when Aiesha had traveled. 13 years later, on the 17th, she got married. So first of all, we've debunked that statement. Aiesha was not there when they traveled to Ethiopia. Therefore, the plus 13 does not apply. That is a false conclusion. That is just simply untrue. All right. I don't know how else to say it. I don't want to be mean about it, but it's just simply false. There's no logical argumentation for that. No way, shape, or form. That just can't possibly happen. All right. So basically, his argument is that she was there in Mecca when this thing was revealed. She couldn't have possibly been able to remember it. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so now what we're going to look at is this timeline. Okay, so pay attention to the timeline. Pay attention to what the standard Muslim narrative is for Aiesha's age. And then we're going to see if it's at all possible that this person is making a good argument for Aiesha being older than she herself said that she was. Okay, so a couple things we need to realize. The first year of Revelation was 610 AD. Okay, the year of the Hijra, which is basically when they fled Mecca and ran to Medina, was 622 AD. Okay, the standard Muslim narrative is that Aiesha was born in the year 613 AD. Aiesha was married in 619 at the age of 6, had sex with Muhammad when she was 9 in the year 622. And the surah, and we're going to see down here, let me highlight this for you. Okay, so according to islamweb.net, which is a Muslim website, the Quran chapter 54 was revealed 7 years before the Battle of Badr. All right, so now we have to identify when was the Battle of Badr. Okay, so the Battle of Badr was in 624 AD. 7 years before the Battle of Badr was 617 AD. Aiesha's age during that revelation would have been, 4 years old. How is that 4 years old? Well, she was born in 613. The revelation was in 617. So let's do the math here. 13 to 14, 14 to 15, 15 to 16, 16 to 17. That's 4 years. So Aiesha would have been 4 years old when that surah was revealed. Does that fall in line with her statement of being a girl playing with dolls? It does. Is it possible that she could remember it at 4? Yes, it's possible. Does this at all contradict with her statement that she married the Prophet when she was 6 years old and had sex with him at 9 years old? No. None of these arguments have stood up. None of these arguments have at all been able to refute Aiesha's own claims. I have to keep repeating this. I don't know why I have to keep repeating this. Aiesha's own claim that she was 6 and 9. She has not contradicted herself. The other guy who is in the chain of narration has not contradicted himself. They all flow together. Nobody's lying in this situation except for the one who's coming up to these conclusions. Now, I don't think you're following these conclusions on purpose. I don't think you're doing it out of malicious, so please don't get me wrong on that. However, you are just incorrect. So basically, any Muslim argument that I've heard so far that says that Aisha was older than the age of 6 and 9 is just convoluted. It's baseless. And when you examine it, it actually ends up supporting her own claim. Her own claim. Why do I have to keep saying that? Aisha said she was 6 and 9. There shouldn't be much more to that. No contradiction. She says what she says. She was what she was. It's disgusting. I applaud you for trying to make it better, but I will urge you to, follow Jesus. Follow the one who said, if anyone makes one of these little ones stumble, better for him that a millstone be thrown around his neck and cast into the bottom of the sea. Okay, so follow Jesus. He loves you. He loves the children. He would never do what Muhammad did. And that's it. You guys you got to walk away. Sorry. But it's going to be better for you. There's freedom in Christ. Have a good one, guys.